Coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We are on DTT because we're free to air. Coming up this morning, President Aidoo admits for the first time challenges in the energy sector has forced many to live without electricity. There's more as he hits the power situation will stabilize when the power plant comes on stream. Also this morning, later today, Joy News is putting together the best brains in the energy sector for our energy dialogue. Join us as we find lasting solutions to the country's energy challenges. Plus, striking teacher unions asked to return to the negotiation table with stakeholders would get the latest on the teacher strike for you. And does Ghana now have a potent third force after the alliance of the Movement for Change and other political interest groups? We have some expert perspectives on this coming up. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. To stay for details. President Aidoo has for the first time admitted to the challenges in the energy sector that has forced many to live without electricity, sometimes for days, and has grounded to a halt some businesses that are heavily dependent on electricity. We're speaking at the recommissioning of the Ameri Power Plant, which is now called Kumasi 1 Thermal Power Plant in the Ashanti region.
It is my expectation that with enhanced electricity supply, these enterprises will expand and offer further employment opportunities to our youth. Ladies and gentlemen, in the course of the last 7 years, my government has had the opportunity to translate promises and assurances into result-orientated projects, especially as the Ghanaian people have in clear and absolute terms demanded results that will transform the country for all. One such commitment is the delivery of affordable and reliable electricity to drive our nation's industrialization agenda and position Ghana to become a net exporter of electricity in the ECOWAS region. Our national electrification rate of 88.8% is one of the highest on the continent, and the goal is to have full electricity access by the end of this year. In the areas of power generation, transmission, and distribution, my government has made and continues to make significant investments towards the provision of reliable and competitively priced electricity to assure economic growth.
Energy Minister Matthew Poko-Prempeh took on naysayers who he says doubted they could pull off the project.
Another Danko Kufuadunti, ebi esi ene no kre obinya sebia anko obeye obinya sebia ontimi nya binti ana de osua wasa no osa no achia nepa Ghana bari bebre adwo we bia si ho eso bia musa se aden na ekọ ho ebi se soja ama Ghana hira esi wa kosombo Kwame Nkrumah breso esi wo akuse champion abreso ebua esi wo bui president Kofo abreso esi ewo takrade president Rollins abreso adena na Danko Akufo-Addo de esi de esi Kumasi a o se Kumasi fo adena ye bie dabi Ghana na ye chechire Ghana na ye chechire sa ene awie ya ba he sa anyinam kane ya ye bie he sa de VI fo kan no sa anya nukrani brodibaka every 2014 and agree ko fu the VI fo nyina hu se ye pese anyam kane agina ya e wo se ye hia ye bi wo Ghana mfifiri ha asanteman mu nyina enso so menka se obi mpese oye o de waye ne ye bodidin de waye enna na Aidoo Danko Akufo-Addo
And later this afternoon, Joy News will be holding the National Energy Dialogue. It follows weeks of intermittent power cuts, with many Ghanaians asking for a load shedding timetable to plan their lives. I've been joined in the studio by head of the Joy News Energy Desk, Samuel Kojo-Brace, who will be telling us more. Kojo-Brace, what is the objective of this national dialogue?
So the objective is to find out ways to end this, recurrent power crisis that we do have. It's coincidental that even in the election year, we're having this problem that we had some years ago. So how do we deal with it? How do we ensure that, power supply, stable power supply is guaranteed for everybody? That's why we're putting all these brains together to brainstorm on the issue and say and come out with how to tackle the issue, because we believe that there's a solution somewhere. That solution is what we're looking for.
Okay. And who are these big brains who will be speaking at this national dialogue?
So we have the chairman for the Parliamentary Committee on Mines and Energy, Atacha. We also have the ranking on the same committee, John Jinapo, coming. We have Dr. Steve Mantea, and you know that when it comes to the energy and extractive sector in Ghana, you don't talk about it without Steve Mantea. So he will be coming. Another person who's so versed in the area is Kwame Jantwa, Esquire. He's also part of the people coming. We have people like the Dr. Apetobo, who is the CEO for the Independent Power Generators Ghana, the Chamber of the Independent. He's also coming. We also have a rep from ECG, represented by the POOL, that's the Public Utility Workers Union. Michael Yantechi will be here. So he is in the sector. He shuttles between those who produce and those who supply. So he understands the issue. And all of the people we are bringing on board really understand what the issues are. We also have a former Deputy Minister of Energy to join us, as well as a former CEO of the VRA, who has even worked at GridCo before. So he understands generation and also, how the grid works. So, we believe that these are the people to really dissect the issue about power and how, we can deal with it.
And you really believe that the issues are beyond what the government is telling us? We know that there's a gas problem, and there are a host of other issues, but you do sincerely believe that the issues are way beyond what government is telling us?
Because government has not even, acknowledged that it's a financial issue. Okay. Have you heard them say that? They haven't. Now, people who really understand the sector say that, look, the issue, and when we broke the issue down about idle plants that are not functioning, plants that need fuel, you could tell that, look, it's a fuel, it's a financial matter. If you have money to purchase fuel, you have the plant running, and we'll have the power on stream for people to use. Okay. So really, we believe that it goes way beyond what government has been telling us. And we hope, it's our belief that after today, government will sit down and say, can we listen to the voices who are speaking to us about what needs to be done? Can we do that? What happened in Kumasi was really good. Now you could have Kumasi or the Ashanti region have a stable power in a way.
In the northern region as well.
Exactly, if fuel is available for the thermal plant to produce power.
Okay. That means that this whole thermal one, Kumasi one thermal plant thing will be nothing if there's no fuel.
Oh, exactly. That's what happens to all the thermal plants. If there's no fuel, they are there, they are redundant, So I hope, and I believe that it will happen, that after today, I'm sure the president will be watching, because he watches Joy News a lot.
Do we have a government representative on this national dialogue?
Well, we have Atacha coming. We have a former deputy minister coming.
Okay.
So these are all
at least they will take some notes and take it back to the president. What exactly should we expect? Why should a viewer or a Ghanaian join the national dialogue and be there to listen to what's going on?
Because you will hear the real issues that you don't hear anywhere. Okay. You'll be told what is really confronting our power sector and what really needs to be done. And you would hear commitment on the part of people who have to make things happen. All the policymakers who are coming will listen to, and again, we would activate the phone lines for people to call in as well, and the policymakers will take note of that. So you will be here to understand that the policymaker will take your view into consideration and will then inform what they do afterwards. So we believe that it's a very important time for all of us as a nation to rally behind this dialogue. This is not, a station specific. It is for all of us. Okay. So let us all rally around it and be here, because this is where we all get to find the solutions to our problems.
And it's at 6 p.m.
Yes.
6
and Aisha,
p.m.
let me tell you something that happened, or I had yesterday. I had a call from a friend of mine who was at the Axim Government Hospital. He said, and I was in Axim on Tuesday. The power was off.
Okay.
So he called me and said, yes, and the whole community, including the hospital.
Wow.
He said, do you know that since morning of Tuesday till 3 p.m. yesterday when we were speaking, the light went off, it has not come back. And he said, some babies had to be even taken out of incubators. I have not verified this, but this is what he told me. But I saw it on Tuesday when power was, there was no power in Axim. So if that happens, and a lot of health facilities have to go through this, that is the extent of, the problem that we are being confronted with.
Yeah.
And that's why this dialogue is so crucial, that how do we move from where we are today to the next level? I've seen business people who have been redundant because in the day when they needed power, they didn't have it. And I have stayed in Agunan Quantan since Saturday till yesterday when I left. From Monday, every morning it goes off and comes around 4-5 p.m. So you ask yourself, from the 10 to the 4-5 that the light is not there.
If you rely on power for your business, how do you then go about it? Definitely 6 p.m. and it will be live on the Joy News channel, on Joy FM, on all our social media handles. You need to be part of this conversation. Can people join via Zoom?
Oh, yeah. Well, the Zoom is for people who will be joining us.
Those who will be sharing
those who will be joining
their
us,
expertise.
they will be calling us via phone. Like we did the other time.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Kojo Brace, thank you so much. He's the head of the Energy Desk here at Joy News. Let's get on to other issues. The Ghana National Association of Teachers, the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGWAT, and the Coalition of Concerned Teachers are protesting bad conditions of service and have laid down their tools. The unions have highlighted the lack of significant progress in negotiations and expressed concerns that government's team appears ill-equipped to adequately respond to their demands. The teachers are warning of potential further disruptions at the pre-tertiary level, urging that teacher union leaders should not be held responsible should such issues arise, emphasizing the need for government to address their concerns promptly. But at a meeting with stakeholders on Wednesday, the unions were asked to return to the negotiation table. I've been joined by Reverend Isaac Owusu. He's president of the Ghana National Association of Teachers. And also on the other side is Ofusua Samoa, who is Executive Secretary of the National Labour Commission. Grateful for your time, gentlemen. First, Reverend, where are we with the negotiations? Reverend?
Aisha, a very good morning to yourself and then your viewers as well. As you rightly said, yesterday was the day that the Labour Commission on the 26th, in their ruling, gave us that we should finish negotiation and then come to them with their report. That was 17th April, which was yesterday. And so yesterday we were before the commissioners and we made our stand known to them that after they gave their directives, we were having some challenges with our counterpart from the government side. Because when we were ready for the negotiation, our counterpart from the government side, those with the mandate, were nowhere to be found. So yesterday, through the General Secretary of NAT, we made the commissioners aware of the challenges that we were going through. And they empathize with that. The commissioners empathize and understand our stand as union leaders. And so they urge us for us to give them the next 2 weeks. And the government side assured the commissioners that within these 2 weeks, they will come clean so that we'll be able to finish the negotiation and report back to the commissioners on the 2nd of May. Master.
Remind us of your demands again.
Well, I think the issues that we are demanding, one is a renewal of the collective agreement. 2 is the scheme of service for the pre-teacher tertiary, pre-teacher educational level. We talk about the laptop distribution where deadline was given by June ending. I think these are the major issues on the table now.
All right. Thankfully, Ms. Ofosu-Asamoah is with us. Ms. Ofosu-Asamoah, what exactly is stalling the progress of the negotiation?
Well, what is stalling the progress of the negotiation will be best by the parties to it. We are not a party to it. We are new to the settlement. We appeared before the commission and we were given a week to go and settle. They came yesterday, and both parties said that, yes, we have held 4 meetings. Unfortunately, they have not concluded on issues. So they need 2 more weeks to go and settle. So I don't think there's anything stalling the settlement. Initially, I think there was a complaint of the dragging of feet by the government party. However, when they appeared before the commission, they said they have been able to go for successful meetings. There was a need for a mandate for the government team to do certain things, which was to be given by the finance minister. But at the time, he was out of the country with the deputy for the spring meeting in the U.S. But they had an indication, the mandate yesterday in the morning. And so yesterday from the commission, they were moving to another meeting at 4 o'clock. So currently, I don't think, as named to the commission, there is any hindrance for the continuation of negotiation. So we are waiting for successful negotiation and a report to the commission on the 2nd of May. Okay, 2nd of May is when they are returning to the table. That is, when they are returning to the commission. They have returned to the table as at yesterday 4 p.m. Okay. Yes. Okay, so Reverend, you've been asked to return to negotiations. Will you do that? And what are your expectations as you go back?
As my senior colleague, Mr. Ofosu-Asamoah said, yes, yesterday we returned to the negotiation table. And our expectation is that the government side will cooperate with us for us to finish the negotiation and then report back to the commissioners on the 2nd of May.
All right. So this is something we'll be looking forward to. Hopefully, Mr. Asamoah, do you have some assurance, or you really don't have a say in how it goes this time around, that we'll have an amicable solution and not go back to where we are now? Hello, Mr. Asamoah.
Hello.
Yes, I'm saying that what's the assurance that this time around the issues will be resolved, or you think you're completely out of this?
Well, the assurance is for us to encourage them to negotiate in good faith, as we have done, with an open heart, and be truthful to each other, and be committed to whatever they enter into. Because if they negotiate and come out with something that they are not committed to its implementation, we will go back and forth with the same problem. So that is what we have admonished and encouraged them to do. But failure which the commission will have to settle by compulsory arbitration. And I don't think that is what the parties do.
I'm grateful for your time. Ofosu-Asamoah is Executive Secretary, NLC, and Reverend Isaac Owusu is President of the Ghana National Association of Teachers. Let's still stick with education, because the Free Senior High School initiative stands as a prominent political campaign commitment in Ghana's Fourth Republic, ranking at the forefront of the Akufo-Addo administration's flagship programs. Moving forward to 2024, both President Akufo-Addo and Education Minister Yao Osei-Edichum have claimed that the total number of beneficiaries has surpassed 5 million. But how accurate is this arithmetic? Story News' research desk has more in the following analysis.
The Free Senior High School initiative stands as a prominent political campaign commitment in Ghana's Fourth Republic, ranking at the forefront of the Akufo-Addo administration's flagship programs. The program's implementation began in September 2017, targeting first-year students in public senior high schools and technical vocational institutions. Importantly, any Ghanaian child placed in a public second cycle institution through the computerized school selection and placement system during the 2017 school placement process became entitled to benefit from the free senior high school initiative. By December 6, 2017, the Ministry of Education's program-based budget revealed that a total of 359,023 beneficiaries were enrolled in the program. These included first-year students in public senior high and technical schools, consisting of 117,926 day students and 241,094 boarding students. Moving forward to 2024, both President Akufo-Addo and Education Minister have made claims that the total number of beneficiaries have surpassed 5 million. This assertion has sparked controversy and raised questions about the accurate count of beneficiaries since the program's inception. During the launch of the Smart School project on March 25th, the president, when he mounted the stage to speak, reiterated the total number of beneficiaries under the free senior high school program.
5.10 million children having so far benefited from this SHS policy since it was instituted in September 2017.
On the same podium, the president and his education minister could not sing from the same hymn book as they gave varying accounts of the total number of beneficiaries under the program. In fact, there was a discrepancy between the figures provided by the president and his education minister, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum.
When it was said free senior high school was impossible, the government went ahead to prove otherwise, and today, some 5.7 million children who are our own children, brothers and sisters, have benefited from the program.
The difference in numbers has raised suspicion regarding the actual total number of beneficiaries under the free senior high school program, adding to the existing confusion surrounding the reported figure of 5 million beneficiaries. Let's approach this analysis by focusing on one of President Akufo-Addo's statements.
Some 503,000 children entered senior high school this year, the highest ever enrollment of children into senior high school in a single year in our history.
This raises significant question. If the current enrollment of 503,000 is indeed the highest in Ghana's history, then how is it possible for over 5 million children to have benefited from the program in just 6 academic years? Unless the government is using a different methodology, it is difficult to understand how the total beneficiaries in 6 years could surpass 5 million when the highest enrollment in the period under review does not even reach 600,000. Even if the highest enrollment of 503,000 was recorded in all 6 academic years, the total number of children covered by the free senior high school program will not exceed 3.1 million. In fact, according to data from the Free Senior High School Secretariat, the total number of enrollment, including both senior high schools and technical and vocational education training from 2017 to 2021-2022 academic year was 2,089,430. Even if we generously use the president's highest enrollment figure of 503,000 for the remainder of the years, the total number would not still add up to 5 million mentioned by the president and his education minister. So, how did the government arrive at the 5.7 million total beneficiary statistics? Could it be that each child was counted multiple times for each year spent under the program? Definitely, government needs to provide a transparent explanation for these arithmetic discrepancies.
Let's do some politics. The Movement for Change and the National Interest Movement and other pressure political groups on Wednesday formed an alliance for revolutionary change in a bid to break the NDC MPP duopoly. The alliance seeks to bring renewed hope to many Ghanaians that had almost given up on having any credible alternative with candidates of substance in the 2024 elections. How are Ghanaians receiving this? And is this really the third force that Ghanaians have been yearning for? I've been joined by senior political science lecturer at the Department of Politics of the University of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Asante, for a conversation on this. Grateful for your time, Doc. How bad do we need a third force as a country?
Good morning to you, Aisha, and then good morning to your viewers. I'm not sure we need a third force so badly. If we did, would have done something drastic towards it. One, it is a fact that Ghanaians are sick and tired about the duopoly. But what effort have we done towards arresting this situation? And my big answer is nothing. Nothing in the sense that we know what causes the duopoly. One is the electoral laws that we have, which is centered on simple majority system, that is first past the post system. So you either win landslide, the worst it will be for a tie to be broken at the runoff. So always the dominant parties take the lead here. The smaller parties are eclipsed. In other words, they are dwarfed within this process. You come back to party systems, even though we have, two dominant parties, NDC and PP. But if you trace them to the roots of Ghanaian politics from 1951, it is just the changing forms that we have seen, but they all come from two roots, either CPP tradition or Nkrumah tradition or Dankwa-Buzia tradition, even though there have been different pairings and alignment and the rest of them. So if you really you are interested in a third force, you must do something about the party system, move away from a two-party system into a multi-party system where you have more than two parties in the states and each of them have what it takes to win power and form a government. Then you are likely to have a government which is not based on, landslide victory, but a coalition type of government. Then a third force become prominent in here. But as at now, once you have not changed the rules of the game, and then you continue to maintain a two-party tradition, I'm afraid a third force will be a mirage.
We've seen the movement for change, and we've seen the Ghana interest movement merging. There are other pressure and political groups who have also joined this to form an alliance, and they say their main aim is to break the NPP-NDC duopoly. Is this the third force that we've been yearning for?
In addition to what I've said, yes, Ghanaians talk about third force, but they have not done something practical to effect the change. Aside what I have said, one of the things, if you really want to understand elections, you can understand it from the point of view of the meaning of election, where we said there are models that help us to understand election. One of it is a dominant party model. All right. This model simply talks about the fact that you have parties that have dominated the political space and people vote based on that tradition and all that. If you look at this group, all right, which of the areas do they have a tradition called the third force or the movement for change? We don't have that. You are now developing. It will take a while for it to be internalized by the people who vote. So the dominant party tradition or model will kick against this. If you look at the NDC and MPP, they have dominated the political space. The tradition is there. People vote for them in their strongholds where they don't even think about any message or whatever. Here you are. If you look at other factors such as popularity, which is also an important barometer to measure how an election, how people accept a political party. Are they that popular throughout the country? And that popularity is a function of the constituencies that you control. In other words, we are talking about your strongholds. Do they have any stronghold that they claim they have their hold on and that they can galvanize support there and win election? That is simply no. If you're talking about visibility, how visible is this group that we can find in all areas of this country? It is an important barometer to check whether you are in business and whether people support you. But apart from that, we are also talking about policies and programs. Yes, you can, that one, they can survive in there because they will come out with what they have started with, nice policies and programs and all that. But what will do them in is the issue of record. That we have said that governance is not mainly about ideas alone, but it's a referendum of your work. What are your records? What records can they show as a group in that day? The best that we can come closer to is an individual, how far they have gone in terms of the achievement in the political space. But as an entity, do they have any record to show? If you talk about NDC, you can pinpoint what they have done since 1992. And so is the case for NPP. So if you really want to break this chain, there's a whole lot of work that you need to do. But I know from where I sit, I believe, and I believe strongly, that they are not aiming at that the presidential seat, but that they want to have influence in deciding the focus and direction of the election by what? Pushing the election to a second round. That is their focus, because when they get there, then they have a bargaining chip, and that they can use it to, make very strong decision within the political space.
And for this reason, should the true major political parties be worried? Should they feel threatened by this?
Oh, obviously so, because if you look at the personalities, and remember that in election, personality comes a lot. In 2016, we did some work about soliciting opinion from Ghanaians as to what will form their decision when they are looking for a president for this country. And one of their considerations was the fact that, one, they need policies and programs. All right. If you look at the policies and programs that this group has, there is no doubt in my mind that it's very, very interesting, and it attracts a lot of people, against the backdrop that the people, the leaders, some of them are towering personalities. You cannot, close your eyes on that, about the personalities of Alan Chemating, Abu Sakara, and the rest of them. And this is something that we glean from our 2016 election analysis that we did. But apart from the track record, one other thing is also the presidential candidate itself. All these things put together, in addition to your ability to command resources, both human and material, to run your campaign throughout the new and cranny of this country, your ability to be able to also have strategies that will be able to pull you the votes that you need, and of course, the messages which are born out of your manifesto, which is nothing but the problems and solutions of this country, which you have tailored them along national levels, regional level, and constituency level. Your ability to be able to put all this mix together and make sense will always give you the results that you want. But if these people are able to do this, in addition to other groups whose contribution will obviously come and support the smaller entities, such as the one we are talking about, then obviously it calls for worry for the stronger, the dominant parties, because what you don't want as a dominant party is for the election to be pushed to a second round. And that one, it creates all manner of problems for you, especially incumbent party, which is in government. And that one, it creates, it opens the floodgate for all manner of things to happen to that party.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes, considering it's a crucial election we're gearing up to. Thank you so much, Dr. Asante, for your time this morning. He's a senior political science lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana. Away from politics, let's still talk about Ghana. And the civil service has been tasked to assist government in the formulation and implementation of government policies for the development of the country. Many have had cause to lament over the lackadaisical attitude of some civil servants and how this is affecting the service and in turn retrogressing the country's progress. Today, we are finding solutions to this old age problem, and I'm excited to be joined by Head of Civil Service and on what his office is doing to ensure a reversal of this trend. He's no other person, Evans. Dr. Evans Agri Dakum. It's been how many years? So long a time.
Can you imagine?
It's refreshing to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's refreshing to be here.
Great. I think that to put this conversation into perspective, let's first understand how bad the problem is. And of course, you've been in the academia, you've done a lot of research around all of this. How bad is the situation?
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and good morning to your viewers. As you are aware, we nations want to make progress, but the state is inanimate. The state will act through agencies, through institutions, through people like you, the media. And the civil service is one of the critical cardinal institutions of state, as you rightly indicated, charged with the responsibility of assisting the government of the day in the formulation and implementation of public policies program, which object then will seek to the national development effort. And so it's a huge responsibility. We have a mandate, as you indicated, which mandate is important for national development. We over the years we've been trying very hard. If you look at the trajectories of this country, we are not doing badly, even though we have difficulties. We're not doing badly at all. If you look at the major indicators of development, we are way ahead of our peers. If you look at even the governance, the quality of governance, for instance, we are promoting good governance.
Okay.
Ghana is considered one of the, I would call it blue eye boy or girl within the international system, punching our way up as some of the critical actors. Even the quality of governance, we are almost always among the very first within the sub-region and even beyond. It doesn't mean that we need to be complacent. There are critical problems. We are facing very enthusiastic population, very sophisticated. The quality of service they want improved. We want to improve the dignity of the average Ghanaian. We want to make sure that people have access to healthcare, good education, good roads, investment climate must be there. The safety of our people is paramount because that is what really defines what the state is. At least guarantees of minimum security for your people. And so in all facets of life, there is not a single activity that you can think about in Ghana without some involvement of the civil service, especially when it has to do whether it's an oversight responsibility or even a crafting of a policy. Because there's intent, policies, government activities and intentions and what is it that government want to do, because normally we define policy as what government decide to do or not to do. All these things will find expression in public policies and programs. Which policies, which programs really are really assisted by the civil service generally. It's not a hopeless situation. I'm an Afro-optimist. If we have come this far, and now you know that in this country, look at our life expectancies has improved tremendously. We have increased access to healthcare, health education. We have a number of roads, access to even electricity, access to water, among others. There are more women educated in this country today than ever before in the history of this country. These actually speak to the fact that the state hasn't really reneged on its obligation. And if the state hasn't reneged, what is it that has to be done? I mean, people will have cause to complain because, as I said, there's always room for improvement, which improvement we are committed to, because that is what will define our very existence. When you lose your existence, it's like a football match. If you don't have the ball, nobody tackles you. So people will tackle us because we have the ball and because our role is fundamental to the success of this country.
If we are making all this progress with this lackadaisical attitude that we talk about with the civil service, it means that if we up our game, we will do more and we will do better. I mean, what's the plan, for you as head of civil service to actually better the situation, if you like?
Right, a number of things. Well, it's true that maybe some may not have the same attitude. Attitude is everything. What we are doing is to build on what is it that we have met. How do we reconfigure the public bureaucracy to make it as vibrant as possible? So the human resource is important, the attitude is important, the profile, what is it? So recruitment is important. Caliber of people who enter the service, what is their background, how capable are they? Those who are already in, do you have a continuous learning framework? So we're putting in place a continuous learning framework that will continue to enhance the capacity of these individuals to be able to deliver. For instance, we are encouraging our institutions to want to institute some incentive packages, measures within the institutions, what I call institution-specific measures, to look at how we can incentivize our people to peak performance. Because as you are aware, if you pretend to be paying some people, then they'll be pretending to be working, for instance. So we are looking at that and what it is that we ought to do to improve upon people's morale. If morale is low, you can't expect that they will deliver. So we are dealing with morale issues. We are providing a lot more logistics, because when you deploy functions, invariably you ought to deploy the corresponding resources for people to deliver. Because I have argued that enthusiasm alone doesn't grow food. You need to have the wherewithal. So these are areas that we are looking at. We are even reconfiguring the civil service Act itself, which Act was enacted in 1993, and thus far we are literally being overtaken by events. But the whole local government system is even sitting in our Act currently. We need to reconfigure. We need to really institutionalize our performance management systems. And we are taking seriously the issue of performance management and performance appraisals. And I can tell you that we have gone digital on some of these matters, like the electronic staff performance appraisal, which appraisal system has two major objectives. How do you peak performance? So it's a performance enhancing mechanism, and also provides us a scientific basis to want to see who can progress to the next grade among others. So it's not an open sesame, it's not a wholesale, but at least there must be scientific basis of that. And thus far, compliance levels are hitting about 93%.
Okay.
The highest that we've had in terms of people completing. We don't have a situation where people will just fill the appraisal when they just want to go for promotion and so on. It's all scientific. Okay. So targets are set together with their supervisors, very critical scientific targets. We have opportunity to review mid-year, and then, of course, at the end of the year, you come and account for your stewardship. And we have that below the deputy directors and below. For the directors and chief directors, we have performance appraisal systems, which appraisal systems are evaluated every year at the end of the year. And then where there are gaps, competency gaps, that will find expression in the training program that a particular ministry or institution will craft to help build their capacity and so on. We are reconfiguring the ministerial enclave to make sure that at least, the work environment is important. We're changing tools that will help us do the digitalization I'm talking about. We are putting in place even a counseling unit, a professional counseling unit. We want to share information with people, right? But there are some friends you share information, we are better off going to BBC or perhaps Joy to announce. We want professional group that can offer professional advice. Some backstopping for our people in that regard. A number of reforms have been undertaken to reduce costs and make our people much more resilient and much more versatile in the service delivery that they have. We have client service charters. Okay. And those client service charters has service delivery standards. And we encourage the people also to give us feedback, which feedback will then help us to reconfigure the way we serve people. Because our focus is that we want our service, our civil service staff and our civil servants to treat the service as a corporate entity where the ownership is vested in all of them. And we are vesting this in all of us so that we can deliver good quality service. And that is what will continue to make us critical in the development.
I need to wrap up this interview in 1 minute, but let me give you the opportunity to talk about the Civil Service Week, which I think starts on Wednesday, right?
Yes.
What is it all about? I hope it's not one of the fun fairs. Of actually
fun fairs, who's a
fun fairs that we see in the public service.
Yeah, so Aisha, thank you very much. The service, in the Civil Service Act, we are encouraged to identify people who are high flyers, who have performed in a particular year, and award them. How do you do that? We need to provide a contest. It's something that was jettisoned for some time. It was in abeyance for over a decade. But we reactivated that in 2019. It's a whole week activity, and what we are looking at is that how do we re-engage with our public? Because that is important for the feedback that you will get. So this year, the theme is trying to look at our sub-regional security, peace and security. And we are saying that combating threat to sub-regional peace and security, the perspective of the civil service. Our focus is that if we promote good governance, and democracy will make meaning or will make sense to the people if we indeed address the fundamental needs of the people. Sure. Otherwise, it's a useless enterprise. Yeah. And so our major orientation is that how do we support a government so that the government can deliver on its mandate so that you and I can live in dignity? That way, when you give people hope, and when they know that you have provided the basic survivals, and they can save and they can invest, and you make the environment much more attractive, they are less susceptible to influence and manipulation, to enjoy rebels, and to want to destabilize the state. Well, this is what we are seeking.
Let me wish you well as you embark on this whole week activity, and I'm hoping that it will definitely bring about the changes that we are looking for. What we are looking for. Definitely. Dr. Evans Agredakon, great that you were able to make it. We're still live on Joy News Desk. Let's take a break. When we return, there's business.
Hi, welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. EU Ambassador to Ghana, Echad Razali, has emphasized the significant strides achieved under the Interim Economic Partnership Agreement. He attributes the success to the technical assistance provided Ghanaian exporters. He made this remark during the launch of the Europe Month in Accra.
As part of the annual Europe Month celebrations in May 2024, the European Union delegation to Ghana launched Europe Month, highlighting the importance of youth and skills development in the European Union-Ghana partnership. Speaking to the media, the EU ambassador to Ghana, Echad Razali, emphasized their commitment to preventing substandard products from entering the EU market.
Most important element to retain about the EPA is the European market is quota-free, duty-free for Ghanaian and African goods. The only elements that we are stringent with is what we call the phytosanitary requirements, because like Ghanaian public, we don't want the European consumers to be poisoned by whatever can happen on a specific batch. So this is a daily, it's a daily event on my desk now, and the beauty of it is we are organizing technical support to the main Ghanaian value chain in order precisely to meet these requirements.
He further revealed a lineup of events for the celebration of Europe Month in May 2024.
Partnership dialogue, which will take place between the European Union and the government of Ghana. Usually it's chaired by the Vice President and co-chaired by myself. This annual meeting is an opportunity to bring together the ambassadors of the European Union accredited to Ghana with the representative of different ministries, what you call MDAs, as a way of information. Ourselves and the member states are heavily committed when it comes to trade, security, sustainable development, and of course this is a way to deepen the global and overall bilateral relation. Which leads me to the is called Europe Day. It will be quite a sizable reception, and it's to celebrate the 9th of May 1950, a date at which the very idea of the European Union has been put on the table.
The EU-Ghana Pact for Skills program signifies a partnership between the European Union and Ghana to invest in the future of Ghanaian youth and trade development.
Now, Guinness Ghana Breweries PLC has introduced to the market its new Malta Guinness sleek can called the Jeje can. According to the marketing manager for the non-alcoholic category, Aidoo Saridako, the new can is designed to bring more comfort to customers. She said Guinness Ghana Breweries will continue to engage consumers for better services.
The idea behind the Jeje can is to drive premiumization of cans, increase brand penetration, and appeal among consumers. Aidoo Asari said the change effected does not affect the price.
So for us at Guinness Ghana, it's very key for us to, listen to our consumer needs and be able to craft products and innovations that meet those needs. This new Jeje can, as you can see it, is more trendy, more modern, and also it helps with convenience in terms of space, packing, loading, and all that. So for us, it's to give consumers something that will be convenient, easier to use, or easier to enjoy the great liquid that we have for them, or we are offering them.
Media personality Stacey Amwatin urged consumers to patronize the product of the company.
We have been excited about this new can, and the love that we have received from other people who came today is a testament that this new Jeje can is actually going to be received well on the market. And there's one thing I want everybody to know: the content is still the same. It's the same old Malta Guinness you know. The taste has not changed. The content has not changed. We've just changed our can into a more sleek one. And you know this one, bag. You can just put it in your bag and go out with it. It's easy to take. When the kids are going to school, you do not have to worry about it fitting in the chop box because it's so sleek and it will fit in just perfectly. And the most amazing thing is the price is still the same. So if you go out there, know the price is the same. If anybody tells you otherwise, please don't buy it. Go to the next person and grab your Jeje can.
All right, and that's it for business. Handing you back to Aisha. Hope my salary rice is coming with some Malta Guinness, Aisha.
Of course, you're going to get a double dose. You know why?
You still haven't delivered on your promise.
It will be delivered, rest assured, Daryl. That's how we wrap up the bulletin this morning. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjournalline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. See you again at 12.